Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for tuning in. So, welcome to my channel. This is my very first video. And if you want to see real, raw transparency from somebody who has done it all, been through it all, and still trying to get it all, then this is the place to be. So make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, okay? Because I'm coming with all the realness. So let's jump right into it. So from the title, you can see that this video is about my transition from my very small hometown in Michigan to Los Angeles, California. So I came to LA in the end of 2013, going into 2014. So it's like December of 2013. Now, I came to LA with my daughter, who was 4 at the time. No, sorry, she was 6. So when she was 4, we moved to Arizona. And I went to school in Arizona. I got my bachelor's in criminology and criminal justice. So I did 2 years in Arizona and kind of went through some and I went back home. And when I got back home, it was a very tough season and very tough moments for me personally, because where I'm from, it's a very small type of crab in a bucket mentality. So everybody was so happy they thought I failed. They're like, oh, you moved back? Oh, you moved? Everywhere I went, people were asking me if I moved back. And I'm like, no. Now mind you, I had no idea what I was gonna do or where I was going, but I knew in my head that I was gonna get the hell up out of there because I've always wanted more for myself. I always wanted to thrive. I always wanted to be successful, and that place kills dreams. It kills dreams. Like, you can't be there and just have the feeling or be optimistic about your future because there's so much negativity around you. And if you do want more for yourself, there's so many people there that hate that you want more for yourself. And I mean everybody. So at the time, my boyfriend who I was dating, he had been back and forth between our hometown and LA. His brothers and him had moved out here when they were younger to play football, and his brother stayed, and he was kind of back and forth. So I had came to visit LA when I was living in Arizona, and I was just like, God, I love LA. Like, I want to move there. Like, when I got here, I'm like, okay, shit, the air is different around here, baby. Sign me up. When I got to college, I'm out of here because I didn't like Arizona. I just felt there was a very much lack of Black culture, and it just wasn't. I just didn't like it. It was hot as hell, and I didn't like it. So I wanted to get up out of there. So with that being said, I could tell my boyfriend, I gotta get out of here. I was waiting to finish school. I was graduating. I walked that spring, but I didn't graduate until that December because I had a few classes I needed to finish. So I was just so ready to go, y'all. And I kept telling him, I'm depressed. It was cold there. I didn't go anywhere. I was living with my mom. And I was just I got to get up out of here, yo. I can't take this. I felt like I was gonna be in a straitjacket sooner or later. It just was the energy, the vibes, everything. I just wanted to go. I wanted to do something with my life, and I had to get out of there. So I ended up applying for a couple jobs, and I got a job interview. At the Los Angeles Superior Court. I was so excited. I'm like, I'm about to go. You know what I'm saying? I applied for the job, and they called me back for an interview. So I told everybody I was moving. I don't care. I didn't get the job yet. I don't care. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. Because I knew that job was mine. I wanted to be in LA so bad that I just put it out there that the job was mine and I was going to get it. So I'm telling people I'm leaving. Even my pastor's like, you'll be back. It was so much negativity around me wanting to move to LA because where I'm from West Michigan. People don't make it out. They don't move to LA. They barely visit LA. They barely leave the city. So me having these big hopes and these big dreams, people like, girl, you ain't gonna make it. You gonna be right back here with the rest of us. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I bet you when I leave, I don't come back, okay? So remind you guys, this is 2013. It's now 2022. And as you can see from my background, I'm still in LA. I'm actually in my Airbnb in LA. But as you can see, I'm still here because I was determined to stay here. So I got the interview. Now, and mind you, I'm dead broke at this time. I mean, flat broke. You know what I'm saying? And my man didn't have like that either. We was going through it. We were struggling at this point. Like, we just did not have it, you know. When I left, I booked my flight. I took a suitcase. That's it, y'all. I took a suitcase. I was like, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not coming back. See ya. So I left LA. I probably had $250 in cash, and I was on welfare at the time. So I had like another little DHS check come in, you know what I'm saying? But once you get a job, you know how they be all up in your business. So they cut you off immediately as soon as they found out that you're making income. So this job I came out to LA to take or to, you know, interview for, y'all, it was paying like 12 something an hour. Now, mind you, I just got a bachelor's degree, okay? So I'm getting paid like 12 something an hour, okay? So I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out. So I come to LA. My boyfriend at the time, his mom and his dad had just moved out here, so they had an apartment. So I go there and I'm with him, you know what I'm saying? Most uncomfortable situation I've ever been in, okay? It was a bunch of us in one apartment, and it was very, very uncomfortable. But at that time, I just was like, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, if you wanna get out, you have to do what you gotta do. Now, I left my daughter with my mom she didn't come out till April. So I came here in December, and my daughter came out in April, you know. And at that time, I was sad, you know. I was sad to have to leave my daughter, but I had to do what I had to do. I couldn't bring my daughter to a situation like that. It was too uncomfortable for me, you know, to allow my child to be in that situation too. And sometimes as a mother, we have to make those kind of tough decisions to better, you know, not only you, but your child's life. So I did what I had to do. So at this time, you know, I come to LA, take the job interview, and the hiring manager, she was a black woman, so I really knew I had the job in the back. You know, not only was I smart, you know, articulate and talented, and I knew I could do the job, it was pretty easy. It wasn't that hard. You know, it was crazy that she needed to have a bachelor's degree to do this type of job, okay? Yeah, but I knew I had the job in the bag. So I got the job, and she actually ended up being like a godmom to me, and her mother is still like my granny to this day. That's a whole nother story, but you know, she helped me with Naya and everything. I'll get into that later about my daughter. So I got the job. Now, at this time, y'all, like I told y'all, I'm from a very small city. I had to fight. When you know what they say, I had to fight all my life. That was me. I had to fight all the time because girls was jealous, didn't like me. You know, I was too ambitious. I was too like, you know what I'm saying? I'm above this. Like, they didn't like me. So I had to fight all the time, right? I got picked on a lot, you know, and before I came to LA, I was going through it. Before I even moved to Arizona, let's talk about that. Before I even moved to Arizona, when I was in Arizona for 2 years, I was going through it with this girl who happens to be my daughter's aunt. But, you know, that's a long story too. But make a long story short, she picked until I showed her my mama ain't make no hoe, right? So when that happened, you know what she did. Beep, 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 you know, 911. So I was really like fighting a case at this time, like a whole case, you know what I'm saying? And I already had something on my record from when I was a teenager. So make a longer story short, that I got the job, but when they ran my fingerprints, they fired your girl. So I was sad as hell, y'all, sad as hell, okay? At that time, I'm also trying to get my record from my teenage years expunged, which I successfully did. So I don't have a record anymore. I have a clean record now. Your girl got a clean record. But at that time, I did not. And they didn't care. They didn't want to hear no excuses or nothing because I was working in a courthouse. So when you work in a courthouse, you can't have a record. You just can't have a fucking record. I don't know if I can say that. You just can't have a record, okay? So, yeah, that was out. So I got fired immediately. So now I'm in LA, no money, nowhere to stay technically, uncomfortable as hell, and don't know what I'm gonna do at this point, you know? But I was still optimistic because LA will make you optimistic. It will make you feel like, baby, I'm gonna make it. Some way, somehow, your girl's gonna make it. So, okay, boom. So this is January. They fired me in January. So I started looking for other jobs. I got a job at the Boys and Girls Club. And at this point, I had to take what I had to take, you know. My goal when I came to LA was to be in like corporate America. You know, when I went to college, I originally wanted to be a lawyer. But I was doing research and I just was like, oh, you know, the market's like crazy oversaturated. I would have to get into debt so much to even get my, my law degree. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm winging it at this point. I take this job, y'all. I take a job at the Boys and Girls Club. I'm making $9.50 an hour, part-time. So me and my boyfriend, he's making his little money. I'm making what I can. And, we finally get an apartment. We get an apartment in March. Now, in March of 2014, that's when we got our apartment. We had a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom. It's $1,400 in rent, which wasn't a lot back then. Now that same apartment is probably like $3,000. Crazy, huh? Yeah, inflation. So we get the apartment, and we struggling. We making it work though, but we struggling. The rent is late every month, but it gets paid, but it's late. We doing what we can do. And then, another position opened up at the Boys and Girls Club for a manager. Now, I didn't have management experience. However, I was very smart. You know what I'm saying? And your girl know how to talk. So I went in that interview like I had been a manager before, very articulate, had all the answers that they wanted, and they hired me, right? Right, great. However, there was a person who was working there who me and her kind of became like friends, you could say. Not really, but sort of. And she had been there for a long time. So when they gave me the position, she was pissed, y'all. We went from friends to, I've been here longer than this. How she gonna tell me what to do? She ain't about to. So I ended up having to get this girl fired because either it was fire her or not give you bucks, sis, because it was getting to the point to where I was like, I cannot work with her. I'm going to beat her up. So either y'all do something or I'm gonna do something. Make y'all pick. Anyway, the job was completely underpaid, you know what I'm saying? And I really couldn't do much with. I think they were paying me maybe $14.50 an hour. So I'm still broke, but I was making it look good, but I was still broke. So I'm working this job, and I'm just like, God, I have to get another job. Like, I can't do this, So I'm still looking for jobs. I ended up getting a job at this group home, right? So in the midst of all this time before I got the job at the group home, I just was in LA and I was just like, it has to be something more for me, God. I've always been the person who felt like there just has to be more. I don't want to be average. I don't want to not have money because honestly, what can you do with it? Money is a tool to survive. Like, as much as we be like, oh, money don't make you happy. Okay, well, if you don't feel like that, baby, you know what? I can drop my account number down here. Y'all can transfer it to me. But the realistically, money controls everything. And no matter how much we want to say it's not important, it is. It's very important because you can't do nothing without it. You can't live a certain type of life without it. And you're very stressed out because you have to pay rent, and you have to pay your car note, and you have to pay your car insurance, and you have to pay this, and you have to pay that. So you need money, you know what I'm saying? And in LA, you can't live off $13, $14 an hour. Like, it's giving Skid Row, okay? Yeah, so no. So I'm like, I gotta figure out something. So what happened was I got another job, and at this time I was just unhappy. Like, I was very unhappy. Even though I was in LA, I was just very unhappy with my situation, with my relationship. I was just unhappy, and I really just wanted to be happy. But at the same time, I was very scared, like petrified, guys, because I'm in LA by myself. I got my boyfriend, but that's it. Like, I'm not really cool with his family like that. They don't really like me, whatever. Okay, whatever, who cares? But I have nobody here that's like blood related to me, nobody who has my back like that. And at this time, I'm very unhappy with my relationship. So I wanted to leave it. And I made that decision. I got my daughter, she's here now. She's 6 years old, so that means she still needs a babysitter. I can't just leave her and go to work or, whatever. I can't do that because I have to provide for her. I have to take care of her. I have to make sure she's safe. So I am like, I don't want to be in this relationship no more. I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to do this no more. I'm unhappy and I just want to be happy and I want to do something for me. I want to spread my wings and fly. And I had always been in a relationship. I was in my child's father since like middle school. It was basically elementary, middle school, high school, 2 years out of high school. And I was just like, bro, I need some time to just, do me, have a whole phase. Like, just have fun, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't even thinking about that at that time. I was just like, I was unhappy and I want to do something for myself. I want to make me happy. So I left my relationship and I'm like, I'm getting my own apartment. Now, mind you, I don't even know how I'm gonna pay for this, but I'm gonna get my own apartment, y'all. So I applied to this job at the group home. I got the job at the group home. And, well, actually, I'm sorry. I didn't apply to the job at the group home yet. Let me take that back. I applied for a job as a behavioral therapist. So my job was to go to people's houses or to schools or wherever, and I had to basically help parents deal with their child who was having behavioral issues. That was my job. Hated it, by the way, because to me, it wasn't really what they said it was in a job description, but that's a whole nother story, and we won't even really need to talk about that. I'm just here to tell y'all how I got here and how I got to where I am now, which will be coming in later videos. But I just want to tell you guys how I got to LA and how I got on my own. So I got the job as a behavioral therapist, and I was making $18.75 an hour, which is still no money, but at that time I'm happy because I went from $9.50 to $18.75. So it was a big increase in my salary. So I'm like, okay, girl, okay, you know what I'm saying? You can maybe work this out. Now, my rent in my first apartment was $1,200, 1 bedroom. And I have nobody to watch my kid. So my old manager who first hired me, who became my godmom, her mother, who's elderly, like she was in her like 60s at this time, late 60s, she's helping me with Sanaya. So I'm working my job, and on the weekends, guess what I'm doing? Uber, because I don't have enough money to pay my rent, pay my car note, pay this, pay that, and I needed money to survive. So I'm living paycheck to paycheck, you know. It was hard. It was very hard. So I did that behavioral therapy job for 3 years, okay? And I just couldn't do it no more. It was like I felt like I was in college because you had to go and then you had to write a report. And let's say the kid did nothing all day. What do I write? It was like, hello? So it was very, very tough, y'all. I couldn't stand this job. I was like, and not only that, I had to drive all over. So y'all know LA is huge, okay? I had to drive all the way up to the Antelope Valley. Sometimes to I live in the San Fernando Valley. Sometimes I'll have to drive all the way to the San Gabriel Valley. Like, I would drive all over the place, y'all. I was beat, okay? I was so tired by the time I get home because I would be driving all day, one client to the next client. It was just very exhausting. It was very exhausting, and I just couldn't do it no more. So I wanted to switch. I wanted to transfer positions. And then not only that, when they didn't have kids, I didn't have work, especially because I wasn't bilingual. So if you couldn't be a behavioral therapist for a child that needed you to speak Spanish, you was asked out. Oh well, good luck, Chuck. Like, you know, so I ended up having to use my PTO hours just to survive. Like, I was done. I had it up to here, baby. Up there, I was done. I was like, I'm not doing this no more. So I applied to a transfer. Now, when you transfer in a company, you still have to do an interview. So I still have to do an interview. So I did the interview. I'm like, whatever. Okay. So I applied to the group home that we have too for this exact company. Applied and got the job. My salary went up. I think I was making like $20 an hour or something like that. Or maybe like $20 some change. So I'm like, okay, you know, it's a $2 increase, you know, whatever. Okay, I'm happy. Let's do it, you know. So I start that job, and it wasn't too bad at first. I was working the graveyard shift. So I was working, I think like, I don't remember. I think I started at 9 the first time, and I worked Monday through Thursday. But I had my kid, and I had to take her to school. So, you know, I had to kind of bargain with them and say, you know what, can I get off at 7 so I could be home, you know, in enough time to get my daughter to school on time. So they were willing to work with me. So I was working that job for 2 years. By the second year, hated it. I said, you know what, I gotta start my own business, God. I can't do this. Now, I had already been an entrepreneur. I had a clothing boutique. I had designed my own clothes and stuff like that. And it just hadn't took off for me how I wanted it to. And I still was trying, you know, but it got to a point where you just was like, okay, I'm putting a lot of money into this, but I'm not making a return. And if you're in business, you want to make money, you know. But LA really like forced me to get into my entrepreneur bag. It was like, baby girl, do something or be on Skid Row. Them the only options. And I'm by myself. Like, I don't have no boyfriend. I don't have nobody. I don't have no parents helping me. I don't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? I would pay my rent sometimes, and I would have like $30 to my name, so I got paid again. And I did that for a while. for a while, you know. I did it, y'all. Like, it's like people think that shit just happens overnight, or that everything is so glamorous and you gonna come to this big city, you gonna be lit, and you gonna do this, you gonna do that. You're not, okay? I really had to start from the bottom, like down here, like below, down below. Yeah, down there. So it's like people always assume that they're just gonna pop off like that. You're not. I'm here to tell you, you're not, okay? I'm still working to get to where I wanna go. But I knew I had to start my own business. LA was like, honey, get to it. I had got to a point in my job where I absolutely hated it. I had to leave my daughter all the time because I had to work third shift. And at this time, she's a little older, so she's old enough to stay at home by herself, but I hated it. I would work 7 days a week sometimes. I would work triples, doubles, just to make enough money to not only to pay my rent and pay my bills, but just to have a little money for leisure. I absolutely hated it, y'all. I hated it. And then I worked with people who have been there for so long. They get into their old, like, I've been here so long, I'm the boss now. Baby, your name ain't on nothing around here. Like, it was drama at my job all the time. And, you know, I would just tell myself, I'm not gonna be like y'all. I'm not gonna be like you. I'm not gonna be like you. I'm not retiring here with a bad back and arthritis. I'm not doing it. I'm too smart. I'm too talented. I'm too witty. I'm too ambitious. I'm too everything to stay here for the rest of my life. So me and God, we gonna figure it out, you know? And that's how I really started my next business, which took off and allowed me to quit. Yeah. See ya. Baby, I was done. I couldn't do it anymore. I was done, you know? And so if you have a dream and a goal, just believe in yourself. Like, it gets rocky, baby. I done had hard times. I done had rough times. I done had times where, you know, when I first had my daughter, I was a single mom. Damn, I done broke up my boyfriend, her dad when she was like 2. So I've been a single mom since my daughter was 2 years old. She's about to be 15. So y'all do the math. But I have struggled, y'all. I was a broke teenager with a kid. Broke. And I mean like the play broke. I mean the real broke. I mean the broke where I was eating burritos from the corner store because I had no money. It was days I had to call my sisters, like, you got some food stamps? I need to buy Naya some milk. Or it was days where I had to say, I can't put no gas in my car. I gotta buy maybe some diapers. So it got real for me. But I've always had this hope and this optimism that my life is gonna get better. It's gonna get better. And still to this day, I still feel like that. By no means am I where I wanna be, but moving to LA and continuously figuring shit out, because that's how you have to do it here. You gotta figure it out. And you gotta Instacart, drive for Uber, clean houses, bro. Before my business took off, I was working doubles, triples, quadruples, and I was cleaning toilets, okay? Yeah, me, your girl, scrubbing people's toilets because I needed money. Like, I needed money to survive here. I knew I could not go back. I couldn't go back. For one, people can't wait to see you fail, especially where I'm from. They wanna, she's back here with us. They can't wait, you know? So for me, I was like, I will never get y'all the satisfaction, baby. I will spit shine shoes before I move back, okay? And that was always in my heart and in my head and in my grind. And to this day, I still feel the same way. I will spit shine shoes before I ever go back there, ever. It was never a place for me, never. You know, it's a place that never wanted to see me win. Now, not all the people. There's some amazing people there. But the general culture, if you get what I'm saying, of the place is, haha, you failed. So for me, I gotta keep going, you know. For my baby, I gotta keep going. Moving her here was probably one of the best things I could have ever done for her. She's been exposed to so much. She knows so much. She's seen me hustle. She's seen me grind. So I don't have nothing to worry about. I know she's gonna be good. You feel me? And that's really what I wanted, you know. I wanted to give her, even if I couldn't give her everything I wish I could, at least I can give her the visualization of things. At least I can give her the hope. At least I can give her, you know, just knowing that she can do it because she's seen her mom do it, you know. And by no means, like I said, am I where I want to be. And I am still working very hard. Y'all don't even know how much it took for me to get on this camera, this YouTube video, because I got mad stuff to do today. I be working my ass off. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The grind never stops for me, honestly. When I get a break, I shut down. Like, I slept yesterday for 12 hours and I really want to work, but my body said, no ma'am, not today. So me moving to LA was the best thing I could have ever done for myself. And LA is by no means an easy place to survive, but if you have the mind, the grind, and the optimism, you can do it. So I'm still here, you know, after $9.50 an hour. Your girl is still here. So this is just the intro to a little bit about, you know, how I got to LA and who I am and where I come from, you know, and I'm going to be giving you guys a lot more videos of my life and just the inside, just transparency of what goes on when you are moving from a little bitty town to a big city where it's so many people and it's just so different. It's so different. So if you're thinking about moving, you know, to a bigger city or from your hometown, just from your hometown period, and just going somewhere where you're going to be by yourself, just know that God got you. And if you stay down, you know, put yourself first, do what makes you happy. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do and when you gonna be back and you gonna do this, you gonna do that. Don't give nobody the satisfaction to ever play with you and play with your name, play with your grind, okay? So, if you like this video, give your girls a thumbs up. You want to see a little thumbs up. Subscribe, share my video, and I'll be back real soon with a little more videos for y'all, you know, a little more transparency, tell y'all how, you know, yeah, it's been a struggle, you know, but almost a decade later, I'm still here, you know. It will be 9 years, yeah, 9 years, so I'm still here, and I have my own place. I've always had my own place, no matter what, you know. I've had my kids, so, you know, a lot of people come out here, they do roommate situations. There's nothing wrong with that. Roommate, if you don't got no kids, cool, but I've always had my daughter with me, you know, so that's a big thing for me. It's hard for people to live out here on their own. You know what I'm saying? It's very tough. So do what you gotta do. If you want to come to LA, do it. If you have any questions for me, like any resources or, you know, anything I can help you with, just drop it in the comments, and, you know, I'm gonna link my social media and stuff so that you guys can, you know, follow me. And, you know, if you have any questions, you can always DM me or anything like that. But thank y'all so much for watching my video. I try to make it as short as possible. I know it's a little long, but hopefully you guys watch it all the way through, because it was a good, you know, I hope you, I mean, you got here, you obviously watched it all the way through, so that was kind of redundant, but you know what I mean. So let me go, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye bye.